All right, guys, welcome back to the Vegan Bikini Prep Diaries. I'm your host, Brooke, and I'm here with my co host, Belinda. Belinda, are you ready for episode 37? Oh my gosh.
I am so ready for episode 37. We are in 2026. We are rocking and rolling. We have a lot of fun things for this episode today. So we're really excited to get started and show you all what we have planned. Before we started today, we wanted to do a quick thank you to our listeners. And thank you for tuning in and listening to us all of 2025 and being part of this podcast for 2026. We appreciate you all. We get a lot of messages and comments, and it's really fun. And we do this because we love it and we get to share with you all, and it's great. So, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to both Brooke and I for all of the updates and give us likes and comments so we know what you guys want to see. And if you have any ideas for episodes coming up, let us know, and we will take it into consideration. And we usually have like a running list of podcast themes, but feel free to like make a suggestion of what you guys want to see because we do this mostly for you all. So yeah, episode 37. So Brooke, how are you feeling about episode 37?
I'm excited. I think this is going to be a fun one. I had fun doing our Would You Rather, and so I think we'll have a lot of fun doing this one too.
Yes, definitely. So Brooke and I are officially both in body composition transformation mode. I'm in contest prep week 9, 9 weeks out in a few days, if I'll be ready in time. Brooke has started her challenge that I think a lot of her followers are participating in, and maybe some people listening to the podcast. So we have some updates. So we decided we're going to both put our check in photos in here and we're going to chat and tell you guys like what we're up to, what we're doing. And then we're going to get into a game. We have a fun New Year's game, overrated or underrated vegan gym girl edition. So we'll do updates first. All right, Brooke, are you ready to rock and roll with our check-ins?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Everybody, look how tech savvy I am. Isn't that so cool? Okay. So, all right, guys, let's start with Miss Meatless Muscle, Brooke. So, tell us about this check-in. What's going on here?
Yep, there I am. So
You look
I
great,
weighed
by
in.
the way. I just
Thank
want to
you.
start and interrupt you by saying you look great.
Thank you. I was pleasantly surprised with this check-in. Like, obviously I like myself a little bit more conditioned, but when I actually like put a bikini on and took pictures, I was like, okay, I don't look nearly as bad as I think I look. So, yeah, I'm starting from a good place. I'm 166 right now. And my goal is to get down to 155. So I'm shooting for about 10 pounds. So my challenge is 6 weeks. Do I think I'll get 10 pounds off in 6 weeks? Probably not, because I mean, you know how it is. When you're in good shape, you don't really lose a lot of weight every single week. So um, I'm just going to kind of, like shoot for a pound per week, maybe a pound and a half. I think that's good progress. I'm going to try to get a little bit more aggressive with it if I need to. I'm just starting out with 1,700 calories, 145 grams of protein, um, and let's see what else. Lifting 4 days a week. I have a push pull leg split, and steps are at 12,000 a day, and my cardio's at 30 minutes 5 times per week. So I'm doing a lot like out of the gate, but I just am ready to. I'm ready to shape up fast. So
I
I'm
hear
I'm
you.
definitely putting the pedal to the metal. Now everyone else doing the challenge, they don't have quite as much as I've given myself. I told them if they wanted to copy me and follow along with me, they could. but they only have cardio 3 days a week, and then each week it like incrementally increases. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Let's see, I started the challenge Monday. Today is Friday, so it's been 4-ish days since I started my plan, and I've been on it. Like I've nailed it every single day.
Good
So
girl.
I feel really good. Like I already feel a lot better. I feel very sore and inflamed, but that's okay. Like, I'm still kind of bouncing back after having surgery, having the flu, just all the shit I went through in 2025. So I knew I'd be sore, but I'm getting better each time I train. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel tighter already. Like I already can
Good.
tell a difference in my physique. I was only down half a pound when I weighed in this morning, but again, I'm sore and inflamed. So I'm
Yeah.
probably holding water. But I'm following the plan. So and I can visually see the changes, so I know it's working.
How often are you going to check in? Every week?
I'm gonna check in, do a full check in every week, but I do weigh myself every day.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, um, you look great, and I'm excited for you um, to get to it, man. If you were starting a contest prep, you would be starting a little bit high of movement and low of calories out of the gate because contest prep for stage, you need to create a very big runway to go where you need to go in the fat loss process. But you have a very clear goal, 6 weeks, try and chop it off. So you're going for it. And it's for you. And that's exciting. And I'm happy for you. So keep us posted. And what cardio are you doing, by the way?
I'm either doing elliptical or incline treadmill. I'm also trying to like keep my glutes as much as possible during this cut because I've already lost so much glutes and
Listen,
maybe
they're
even
still there. They're still there. They are still
yeah,
there. I see them, especially here. They're still there, but I know you want more glutes. I mean, we all always want more glutes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
so I get on that incline treadmill and I just crank that incline up so that I'm still getting like some glute activation. And so if I'm too sore, I'll do the elliptical, but either that or incline tread.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so happy to have you checking in with me. It feels good to have my buddy back.
I know. Yes, it's good. I'm like, man, it was good to take a break from check-ins.
Yeah,
But checking in, it just really helps you stay
it
accountable. Like
does.
with it
It
being
does.
Friday and like I weighed in today and I'm like, I'm glad that I checked in Friday because I've been feeling really good and I might have let loose over the weekend a little bit. But like weighing in today and like kind of doing a check in with myself, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna nail it this weekend because come Monday I want to make even more progress. So it's
Yeah,
really good to check in and I'm glad to be back on a schedule doing it again.
definitely. I checked in today too. This is me this morning. I checked in today. We're filming this on a Friday. I had a similar thought process. I was like, you know what? Let me see what I look like before I'm going into the weekend. Not like I was gonna go off plan because I'm in contest prep, but I sort of wanted to know what my deal was. Um, the visual change from this check-in and the last one is quite I don't want to say dramatic, but a little bit. Like I can really see I chipped off a layer. I'm definitely leaning like I am in prep for sure. Like this is a prep photo. I'm feeling pretty good. My front pose, I can't quite nail it, of course, because I have a broken foot. So like it's not quite the way I want it to look, but it's not far off. So it's okay. I'm really happy with the way my front shot looks. I have a little bit of fat on my lower stomach. You can't see it on my side photo, but I have a little bit of fat left under my belly button still in that lower abdominal area, and a little bit I don't even have much left on my back, my actual back actually, but I'm really leaning down. All of my fat is concentrated under my glutes and in my inner thighs. That is Belinda's spot where she holds her fat. I was telling Brooke before we hit record that my DEXA scan showed that like 60% of my body fat is in my upper thighs. So like my whole body is on the leaner side at this time, and then it's all just hanging out right there. But and also this back pose, it's so like crooked and it looks horrible. Everybody don't judge me. I have a broken left foot. Like I can't like do I can't do a normal back pose. But yeah, like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong and lines are starting to come in, definition starting to come in. I am I am doing the thing, man. I'm feeling pretty good. I did make a slight change this week where I added in some fasted cardio, but it's not quite cardio. Let's just call it movement, where I sit on my spin bike fasted in the morning for a little bit. So I started that, and not changing my food at this time. I'm going to see how next week goes, but this was a hold steady week for me. So I am going to start checking in. I've been checking in every other week or like every 10 days. I am going to start checking in every week now. So yeah, it's check-in season, everybody. We're
It
back.
is.
We're back on our bullshit. Back on
Look,
our
that is
bullshit.
the best. It is just, it's the best way to make progress and to hold yourself accountable. And like a lot of people don't want to check in, and I get it. I've been there. Like when I was on my roller coaster, I certainly didn't want to check in because I was like scared of what my pictures would look like or what the scale would say. But it's just at the end of the day, like it's so motivating, and it's really a game changer, because if you're not checking in, you don't know how to make changes, like you don't know if it's working or not. So I feel like so many people get frustrated with their progress, and all they're doing is stepping on the scale. But if you take pictures, you do measurements. I'm going to start my measurements too. You can see that you're making progress even though the scale's not showing that you are.
Definitely. A fat loss journey, the scale is not always going to cooperate. So the visual changes are really is going to be what makes the biggest difference. Brooke and I, as competitive bodybuilders, we know that when we get on stage, none of the data matters. It's how you look on stage is what matters. So yeah, the scale is good for measuring the data, but you can't let it rule your life. Taking photos is a much better way to measure your progress in any phase of your fitness journey that you're in, whether it's a cut or fat loss or muscle building or whatever. Okay, so that was fun. Back to it. So, yeah. Should we go to our game? We have a fun little game for everybody.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so we asked our friend ChatGPT, who is our podcast writer, and he helps us come up with ideas for you guys, because sometimes we feel like we're repeating ourselves a lot, but we kind of keep it fresh thanks to this long ongoing conversation with him. And he made this suggestion for a game today. So it's called Overrated or Underrated, Vegan Gym Girl New Year Edition. So we're going to go through a topic and we'll talk about if it's overrated or underrated.
Awesome.
All right. And he broke it up into a few different rounds. So round one is training and movement. Okay. Brooke, overrated or underrated? Training every day in January.
Overrated. So overrated. Recovery is key. Recovery is key. You should not be training every single day. That you're never going to make progress if you are training every single day, because your muscles only grow when you're at rest. So you need rest days.
Absolutely. Yes, there are active rest days too. Yes, I'm in contest prep, so I'm sort of moving every day, but I'm only training a few days a week. I am not training every day. Training every day, like Brooke said, totally overrated. You might make progress, visual progress for the first few weeks, but then you're going to hit a wall and your body's going to stop responding because you're going to be so inflamed that you can't recover. Okay. Overrated or underrated? Step goals.
Underrated, definitely. Steps are awesome. Steps are a great way to measure your activity outside of the gym, which is so important because so many people rely on the calories that they burn during their workouts, and you really don't burn as much as you think. Like most people are probably burning 200 to 250 calories. I don't care what your watch says. That's typically how much you're burning, and you could easily, you know, eat that back if you're not careful. So steps are great because it increases your movement outside of the gym. And like for my clients, like my clients will be like, well, why not just do cardio? Because steps you can literally just do around the house in your neighborhood. You don't need a cardio machine, you don't need a bike, you don't need an elliptical. Like you don't have to schedule anything or drive anywhere. Like you have no excuse not to get your steps in. So I think they're underrated.
Totally underrated. Another benefit of steps is it's low impact. So you're getting movement in and you're not stressing your body out. I can't tell you how many consult calls and client calls I've had over the years where they're saying to me, "Oh, I work out 5 days a week. I eat healthy, but I'm just like my body's not changing. I can't lose weight." And I say to them, "Okay, how many steps do you get a day?" "Oh, I don't know." "Okay, I want you to either buy an iWatch or a Fitbit or just a cheap pedometer off of Amazon, and I want you to measure 7 days of steps. Do not change anything out of your routine and then report back." And then they'll come back and they're like, "Oh, I only get 2,000 steps a day, 4,000 steps a day." And I'm like, "Well, there it is right there. Like you're not moving enough for what your body needs in order for you to expel energy." So, yeah,
Agreed.
under steps are underrated. Home workouts, I'll take this one. Underrated. I think that home workouts are great. I don't think that I think that working out in a gym with gym equipment is better for more advanced athletes because you have access to different movements and planes of the muscle, and of course heavier weights than you probably have if you're just training at home. But I think for a beginner, training out at home is totally fine. Get your dumbbells, get a bench, get bands. You could definitely create enough tension to build muscle, and I think they're underrated because a lot of people use time in their schedule as an excuse as why they can't train. You can squeeze in 20 minutes at home. You can. In a 24-hour day, there will be 20 minutes somewhere that you could put your phone away, don't scroll, and do 5 exercises, 3 or 4 sets each, and you could do that in 20 minutes at home. So, I think underrated.
I would agree with you solely yeah, for really your reasoning behind that. I don't think home workouts are better than gym workouts. Truly, I don't, just because, like you said, it's easier to incorporate progressive overload in a gym if you're more advanced. You get to a place where your home weights, like me, like if I was doing home workouts, it would be way too easy for me. Like there's just, I've been training so heavy for so many years. I would need a ridiculous amount of weights, and it would be so expensive for me to have a home gym that actually challenged me. But for somebody first starting out, a home workout can be great, and solely for the reason that most everyone's excuse for why they can't work out is time. Like you said, home workouts are great. You should not be saying that you don't have time to work out. That's just ridiculous. Like you said, everybody has 20 to 30 minutes that they could pick up some weights, go through a couple sets. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but there's really no excuse. Like, so for that reason, I would say home workouts are underrated because it's just a great way to get your training in. If you are limited on time, there's no excuses. So yeah, I would say underrated.
Definitely. Okay. Full glute only day. Glute only day. Underrated or overrated?
That's a tough one. I would say maybe okay, I would say underrated. Underrated for more advanced muscular lifters, people who are already pretty jacked and like they just need to maybe bring up a very specific area for like example the bikini division or the fit model division. Maybe your glutes are not where they need to be, but you have really great legs. Like that would be me. So I have a glute only day where I don't do any hamstrings, like direct isolated hamstrings. I just do glutes because I need a little bit more upper glute. For the beginner, I think it would probably be overrated. For somebody who
I
is
agree.
just starting out, no, you just need to do, I would say, like a full posterior day, glutes, hamstrings. Don't You should have heavier compound movements and not just focus on isolation.
Yeah. Find me a girl with great glutes that did not spend her first year doing a good amount of squats. And
Yep.
squats are a total lower body movement. As you get more advanced in your muscle building journey, or if you have to train for a certain criteria, like Brooke and I do for our respective looks that we're going for, that will change over time. I don't really heavy squat anymore because there's too much of a risk of it growing the rest of my legs too much. And I really have one body part that is lagging and I have to focus on that. So I would say underrated for an advanced athlete, overrated for a beginner lifter. Beginner lifter, you need to focus, like you said, on your whole posterior chain. Okay, let's move on to food. Okay. Nutrition and food, vegan edition. Overrated or underrated? Let's do some funny, like New Year's ones. Whole Foods, plant-based only January.
Ugh. Somebody's gonna hate me for this. I know we'll probably get a comment for this, but
I could take it. I could take it if you want. I could take it if you don't want to deal with the trolls. I'll take it.
Oh, I will totally. I will argue all day about Whole Foods plant-based diets for vegan lifters. Like, because I have calls with these people
Oh
every
yeah.
single week. Like all of these people, they
I
want to
have
comment
I
on
had
posts
so
about.
many I had so many clients that came from that school and
Yep, 80%. I
they
would say 80% of my clients, like for people listening, most of my clients are not junk food vegans.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have junk food vegans hiring me. It's not really overweight people who are eating like crap and eating cupcakes and drinking soda and eating french fries all the time. That's not my clients. My clients are whole food, plant-based clients. They're eating no processed foods. They are very strict with their food choices,
Yes.
and they're overweight still, and they don't understand why they don't look ripped and shredded.
They need
Look,
protein.
if you just want to be healthy and you don't care what you look like and you don't care what you lift like and you don't have a physique goal, you don't have a fitness goal, and you're not
That
training
part.
very
That
much,
part. That part. That part like
eat whole
yeah,
foods. It's a very healthy way of eating. There's nothing
right.
wrong with doing that. But
Right.
if you have a physique goal, if you train and do any sort of very, I would say, moderately intense activity, then you
Uh-huh.
need protein. You need to make sure that you get enough protein. So, yeah, I would say whole food plant based. If you are a fit vegan, which most of our listeners are going to be, highly, 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 highly overrated.
Yes, we could go on this topic forever.
Yes.
Um, to Brooke's point, like that's exactly why coaches like her, I'm not coaching now, but me exist as well. Like whole food, plant-based vegan is a very healthy way to eat. Very healthy. Don't get me wrong, it is healthy. I'm sure you've got great blood work. Those goals are different than looking jacked. They're different. It's a different goal. You can be very healthy and jacked too. You're just gonna have to eat more protein. um,
Yeah.
find me a jacked vegan that's eating under 80 grams of protein a day. Find me that person and we can talk. But for the most part, actually, my husband eats less than 80 grams of protein a day because he has a kidney disease. However, he ate a lot of protein for 20 years. So
There you go. Yeah.
He has a genetic kidney disease. It has nothing to do with his diet, in case anyone's wondering. It is a genetic thing that his one of his brothers has it too. Just he got the bad luck of the draw. And it has nothing to do with his diet. So he does eat less protein now, but because he has to. Okay. Totally overrated. All right,
Totally. Gosh.
next January funny one. Um fear of fruit. Overrated or underrated?
So overrated. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I don't know, me and Belinda knew someone who, oh, I think it was somebody who had a consult with me. I think there was someone who had a consult with me and they totally cut out fruit and they hadn't had like a piece of fruit in like 20 weeks during their whole prep. And like me and Belinda are on like peak week eating fruit, more shredded than they are, and it was like,
Yeah.
calories, people, calories in, calories out. You can still
Yeah,
eat the fruit.
definitely. So when I was a coach and I was teaching, the way I would coach beginners would I would give them usually a meal plan so I could teach them what like macro friendly eating looks like, but doing the thinking for them. And I would limit their fruit intake. But because I was trying to teach them that it's calories in versus calories out, not that fruit is bad because it's not, but a banana has a very different caloric profile than a bowl of spinach, for example. So, fruit is not bad, fruit is wonderful, but like all foods, you have to understand the mathematics and the nutritional values of it in order to reach your goal. So, fear of fruit, overrated. Like, don't be afraid of fruit. Just like with all foods, you need to understand the math inside the food, the sugars, the carbs, etc. Okay. Overrated or underrated? Um, high carb vegan diet. Maybe that means like not so much protein, or maybe somebody that just eats a lot of carbs. But wouldn't that be a whole food plant-based vegan? So we could maybe skip that one. We did it already.
Yeah.
All right. Liquid calories. Overrated or underrated?
Okay. Overrated for a fat loss phase. I would say underrated if you're a person who has trouble getting their food in. Because, like, occasionally I'll get these clients who are hard gainers. It's very hard for them to build muscle. And they're like, 110 pounds, like 100 pounds soaking wet. And they're like, I can't get all this food in. And I'm like, okay, well, try maybe some fresh juices, or, like a more like a thinner protein shake, like those own shakes, stuff like that, because that'll help you get your calories up. So, again, it's like, just depends on your goals.
Yeah, I would say it depends on your goals. I know for me, my particular situation, underrated because I have Crohn's disease, which I've mentioned a few times on here. And, digesting food takes a lot of effort on my system. And sometimes liquid calories are better for me. Like, I do my big, massive smoothie every single day of my life, even on the weekend, even when I'm not in prep. Like, I have a meal that is a smoothie because it's just easier for me in my GI tract. I like coffee creamer in the morning. Um, I use 50 to 100 calories of coffee creamer. I account for it in my day. I like getting my carbs from that in that moment. So, like, it
Yeah.
depends on your goals and what you've got going on for you. Okay, let's keep going. Recovery and lifestyle. Overrated or underrated? This is a good one. Morning fasted cardio.
You know, I I'm really gonna say underrated for this one because I just from personal experience and just like for me, my own body and with my clients, I get really good results from fasted cardio. And I know there's, some camps out there of people who believe that it doesn't really matter whether you're fasted or not. It's still the same calorie expenditure at the end of the day. But and yes, I think that's true if like you're 20 pounds overweight or even like where I'm at, like 10, like I have, well, I mean, I'm easily 20 pounds from stage weight, but I feel like when you're really, really lean, like more maybe where you're at, like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like where you are, you're close to stage
Mm-hmm.
and you need just something to like give you a little edge, just a little bit of movement. I do feel like there's an advantage to fasted cardio when you're already consistently in a huge deficit every day, just like waking up fasted in that huge deficit, and then you go do cardio. I just feel like your body is optimizing fat loss much better. So I don't know. Personally, I do think fasted cardio, there's an advantage to it at a certain point in your composition.
It's interesting because I happen to be listening to a men's bodybuilding coach podcast where it's this podcast where these top men's bodybuilding coaches talk about bodybuilding coaching, and they talked about fasted cardio, and they're scientifically and metabolically, it's not that it's different than doing cardio not fasted or later in the day. And one of the coaches made a good point that I think aligns with what you're saying, is that it psychologically does a lot for the athlete. It does something about how it's out of the way, you've done it, and now you could go about what the rest of the things you have to do for the day. It's already done and it's over with. Usually you're drinking water during it. Maybe you're taking your supplements. You delay eating by a full hour or however much time it takes in your schedule. So the coach was saying, this coach that has quite a lot of experience with prep coaching, that he finds that it's more of like the routine of it that makes the difference, more so than the fact that it's like, if you were to put it on paper and study it, it's more of like a mindset thing. And I can see why he would say that. So I get it. I understand it. I've never been a fasted cardio person, but I am right now. I just brought it into my routine because I needed a little something to like break up what I was doing, and I can just get it over with in the morning and I won't have to worry about it. And I'm already starting my day like 50 to 100 calories more burned than I was without doing it. So who knows? But I would say underrated because I think a lot of people do put off their cardio or they don't do it at all. So I would say it's underrated. Try doing it in the morning first thing when you wake up. You might find you really like it in your routine.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Overrated or underrated? Dry January.
Hmm. I think that's probably underrated. I think, look, I think the more you cut back on alcohol, the better. No matter if you have a problem with it or not. Like, even if you control yourself with alcohol, at the end of the day, it's a toxin. And there's so much research that indicates alcohol inhibits fat loss, it delays recovery, it impacts sleep. I mean, so it's just, I mean, there's so many health reasons to avoid
Yep.
alcohol. So yeah, I think it'd be a good thing.
So when I was a coach, I would never tell my clients that they couldn't drink because, you do you, it's your life. And, if you feel you must have a beer on a Friday night or a glass of wine at dinner a few nights a week, like that's your choice. Um, However, it will impact your ability to lose fat. It will impact your ability to build muscle. Um, it just won't do you any favors in the physique department. you're basically only doing it for your lifestyle choices, which is fine. But if you have a physique goal, alcohol's not going to help it. Um, so bodybuilders like Brooke and I, um, and honestly, every single competitive bodybuilder I know, men and women, all categories, none of us really drink ever. Every once in a while, we have a drink, vacation, on a date, every once in a blue moon. Um, and it's a gradual thing that happens over time. I used to drink a lot more. And over the years in my fitness journey, it was less and less and less and less because it just drinking didn't align anymore with the body goals I had for myself. And then once you start competing, forget it. I mean, you cannot drink alcohol in prep. You can't. So then you do a few preps and you just lose the will or the want for it. So dry January, underrated. I think that people should practice more drinking less and seeing how it makes them feel. If you don't have any body goals, and like we our same feeling of whole food, plant-based, vegan. If you don't have any physical physique goals, you do you, man. Like enjoy, eat, drink what you want. But if you have physique goals, the food and drink that you consume matters. It does. So underrated. Okay, one more in the recovery department, and then we'll move on to the final, and then the game will be over. Okay. Um, sleep tracking. Overrated or underrated?
Mm. I love my sleep tracking. So for me, I think it's underrated because wow, I've learned a lot about my body from tracking sleep and
Me
just
too.
like my lifestyle. I think there are probably people who could get too obsessive with it, and for those people it might be a little bit overrated. But I do think sleep tracking is really helpful. Like yeah, like I mean, speaking of drinking, I've had more drinks probably in the past 6 months than I have in 10 years. So it's really interesting to see how alcohol affects my sleep. If I train too many days in a row, how that impacts my sleep. Certain supplements. It's yeah. So I think it's a good tool as long as it doesn't give you anxiety and you don't totally obsess over it.
I agree with you completely. So I've been tracking my sleep for over 5 years now. I used to just track it on my iWatch with the app Sleep Tracker. And then I've had an Aura Ring the past 4 months now. I've had an Aura Ring. I got it after prep. So since August. Um, and the Aura Ring is more advanced sleep tracking than my sleep tracker app was. And sleep tracking has been very useful for me over the years. It had a lot to do with me drinking less because even just one glass of wine, my sleep would be like in the red and my body would be like, "What are you doing?" I went to a bat mitzvah over the summer and I had half an espresso martini and half a glass of rosé. Maybe not even half, just like 2 sips of each, so 4 sips, and my sleep that night was, like, horrendous. So my body is, like, allergic to alcohol now. I would have never known that if I didn't track my sleep. I do have a tendency to get a bit obsessive, so I, the few nights that I don't go to sleep on time, it's usually for a good reason. I'm out with a friend or I'm up a little bit later watching a movie with my husband. Does my sleep get affected the next day? Like, is my score down? Yes, but I try not to like let it rule my life. Like, it's going to be okay. Like, Belinda, you're allowed to like not have perfect sleep every single night. So, I agree that it's underrated, but you have to be a little bit careful if you do have a bit of an obsessive personality because it could really just rule your life. Okay. Let's do like one more on social media, okay? Um Comparing yourself to influencers. Overrated or underrated? I mean, we're gonna say overrated. And let's just tell the people why we feel that way.
So overrated. So for so many reasons. It's like you are on a different timeline than most of the influencers that you're looking at.
I
So
like to
if
say, don't compare your day 1 to somebody's day 100. Don't compare
exactly.
your day 365 to somebody's day 1000. Like, somebody that is just picking up weights should not be comparing themselves to you or me that have been lifting for almost 10 years.
Right. Yeah. So that's exactly what I was thinking is I have people who compare themselves to me. Like I'll have people who reach out and they're like, "Well, I'm 5'7" and I'm like 166, but your 166 doesn't look like my 166." And yeah, because I've been training for 10 years almost. Like I mean, you can't compare yourself to me when you're just getting started with your fitness goals, and like you have a hard time if you have a hard time being consistent. I rarely miss the gym. I did when I had surgery, but I mean, I haven't gone 3 weeks without lifting since I started lifting.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
forget
can't
it. So, yeah, you
you
can't.
can't compare yourself to anybody
No.
else.
And the
Everybody's
other thing,
life is different. Yep.
yeah, and even like me now, like as fit as I am and as long as I've been doing this, I also have this bulging disc issue that I'm dealing with now, and so my physique has changed a lot because of that. And like I'll look at other people's glutes and be like, "Oh my gosh, like I wish I had glutes like that. I wish I could get my glutes there." But they're doing heavy squats, they're doing heavy deads, they're doing heavy leg press, things that I can't do anymore. And so I can't compare myself to someone who has no injuries or no issues because that's just not my reality. So, same thing for you guys. Like, you cannot compare yourself to other people because everyone's on a different timeline. And not only that, I mean, even if they really look like they do in their pictures, because the other thing is people use filters and Photoshop and all this stuff now. Um, are they taking PEDs? Are they taking drugs? Like things that you
Yeah,
guys are not taking. Have they, like, have you had children and they haven't had children? If you've had 4 kids, you're going to look different than somebody who hasn't had kids or maybe had 1 kid.
that's
So,
right. That's
yeah.
right. There's so many reasons why people look differently. Everybody's body is different. Like, that's what's kind of cool about competitive bodybuilding when we're in the amateur league, like Brooke and I are, because we compete with our height class. So you're all the same height, but we all look so different, right? Like every single body on the stage, we all look the similar. We're the same criteria, but everybody's body looks a little bit different, right? And everybody has different genetics, different places where they store fat, different body parts that they grow muscle very easily. Like my shoulders, I look at a dumbbell and my shoulders look good. That just I was blessed like that, and it's been like that ever since I started lifting. My shoulders were the first thing to develop, and, I don't rarely train my shoulders ever anymore, and they still usually look, like, pretty good. My hamstrings are a very lagging body part. It just they are asleep. Like, they're in there, but they're buried under fat, and they're just my genetics are different than somebody that is maybe really lean in their hamstrings. Because I have a girlfriend, um, she didn't compete this year because she had a baby in 2025, but she competed the year before. Her so funny, her hamstrings were the first things to lean out on her when she started her prep. She like started leaning on her hamstrings and like her leaning out went like up and then down. It was so interesting, like the total different way that I lean out. So everybody's body is different. You can't compare yourself to anybody else. So comparing yourself to other people on the internet, totally overrated. Don't do it. Protect your peace. Focus on you. Use it as inspiration, but don't compare yourself to other people because everybody's on a different journey. Everybody's protocol is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Some people have 3 hours to train in the gym every day. Some people have 30 minutes. Everybody, their situation is different. I would love to train in the middle of the day because that's when science says you make the most gains. I would love to do that, but I can't because I have a full-time job and I can only train at night. So like everybody's situation is different. So just focus on you and use other people as inspiration, not to, you know, they say comparison is the thief of joy. So just be careful with that.
Yes, definitely.
All right. The game is over. We must go. We are both busy and have things to do. Speaking of lifestyles, we've got things we have to accomplish. So we're going to sign off for today. Everybody, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this little game. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you want to see. And we will be back with you next week. Happy 2026, everybody. Bye.